What is poppin', my lovely islanders? It is Sydney Island here. That's Island with a Y, not an S. And today we are going to talk about Pisces Sun versus Pisces Moon. Now, before I get into this, I would like to let you all know that birth chart readings are being postponed. I'm not doing that right now, y'all. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. I'm not doing that right now. It's too much for me to deal with. I will consider doing it sometime in March or towards the end of February, perhaps. And also I'd like to apologize for just taking so dang long to even get this series out, okay? Like, it's hard navigating through energy, loss, and depression, okay? It's a struggle, but I'm just gonna get right into it. So, let me talk about the differences between sun and moon. And it's kind of difficult when you have the damn cat. Every video, I'm gonna complain about this damn cat making noise. Hold on. So the sun is the more outward. I'm already tripping. I didn't get to start the freaking video. The sun is the more outward representation of the self. The sun is your overall personality and your character. It's who you strive to be. Whereas the moon is who you already are. The moon is your instinctive reactions to things. The moon is how you handle your moods and your emotions. It's also your subconscious and your mind, right? But Mercury is more so your mind, whereas the moon is more so your emotional body. The moon is also the relationship that you have with your mother. It represents that. It's kind of like how your mother may have been. Okay, so Pisces Sun versus Pisces Moon. Let's jump right into it by saying that people like Martin Luther King Jr. and Michael Jackson and Prince and Miguel all have, well, I just name all black men. It just kind of happened like that. Anyways, so these people all have Pisces Moon. Robin Williams also has a Pisces Moon. And you can notice the similarities in these people in the sense that they have an ability to captivate a really large audience. Pisces, especially in the moon placements, this is a very powerful moon placement to have. And it is even more so powerful to be a Pisces moon than a Pisces sun, because the moon is the deeper expression of the sign, right? And so, think, for example, Erykah Badu is not only a Pisces sun, but also a Pisces moon. And she is known to be a mystic. She is very spiritual. Pisces is the sign of spirituality and mysticism and, the other realm, the spirit realm, and the things that you can't quite see, but you kind of feel is there. You get them chills and it's like a spiritual chill. That's a Pisces kind of energy. You can feel it, but you can't quite see it, right? So, I wrote down that Pisces Sun, you find it easier to, come out of your depression rather than a Pisces Moon. Because Pisces energy in general is prone to depression. It is the sign of self-undoing and sorrow, unfortunately. And that doesn't mean that every Pisces is gonna be sad or anything like that, but what I've noticed in my life is a lot of Pisces are prone to depression. And Michael Jackson and Robin Williams both had a Pisces moon, and they both were known to suffer from depression and loneliness, And so Pisces sun people, because Pisces is in the lighter expression here, it's sunlight, using sunlight, it's easier to come out of your depression having a Pisces moon, a Pisces sun. Whereas a Pisces moon, you really, really have a deep internal struggle within yourself, especially emotionally. Pisces moon people, their biggest issue is emotion. And it's also self-doubt and drowning in your emotions. It's harder for a Pisces moon to come up out of the ocean of emotion. Pisces moon is the embodiment of an ocean of emotion. The water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, all are known to be very sensitive, emotional, empathic, intuitive, those sort of things. But with the Pisces, this is a big representation of water, and it's very, very deep. And a lot of Pisces are known to get so lost in their imagination and in their emotions that they sometimes don't believe in themselves enough to pursue their dreams. Sometimes, this is a sign of lost dreams at times, Um, but of course, I don't want you to take it like, oh, this means that since I have a Pisces moon that I'm in bad shape. It doesn't mean that at all. You also have to look at your Mars. Your Mars is how you get things started, right? Your Mars is your energy. So if you have something in an Aries Mars or a Sagittarius Mars or something like that, you're in better shape. So look at your Mars placement. And it also depends on your aspects as well. So, and also your sun sign. So I don't want anyone to feel discouraged because Pisces has a lot of power. Okay, Pisces has a lot of power in the sense that they are so empathetic that they can feel the hurt and the sorrow of the collective and of the masses and of humanity itself. And I think about Michael Jackson and how much love he exuded. When you can't help but to feel some type of joy or love when you watch him perform because he just gave out that energy. You got girls in the audience passing out, you know what I'm saying? Because he had that Pisces moon energy that he was so good at embodying when he performed. Pisces people are really good performers, really good dancers, singers, actors, painters, and poets. This is the sign of a lot of times the lost artist or the depressed artist. These people are very, very artistic and they have a gift for art and they have a really deep connection to music and things that move people, things that move people emotionally. So the fish rules Pisces, and as you can tell that there's always this symbol of the fish where it kind of goes like this. It's really hard to do, but it kind of goes like this where the fish kind of intertwine with each other. And this is a symbol of duality, right? It's a symbol of also confusion and chaos. A lot of Pisces have a tendency to be emotionally chaotic because the fish, they're going in two different directions, and this also represents Pisces sometimes going in two different directions at the same time to a point where it's confusing. They're confusing to themselves and they confuse other people because Pisces wants to embody different energies, and they often do because they're empathic. They embody many, many different energies to a point where they can kind of be different people at once. And Michael Jackson, having a Pisces moon, embodied the energy of, one minute he was very soft-spoken and, like kind of like a fairy. And then in other instances, you will see videos of him talking with his deep manly voice, right? So Michael Jackson, he had that duality of the feminine and the masculine going on, but he would hide his more, heavier masculine energy. A lot of Pisces moon, especially, have a tendency to mask darker aspects of themselves. And things that they feel may be too much for reality because they themselves feel that a lot of stuff in reality is too much for them. These people are very imaginative and can get lost in their fantasies. If you've been studying astrology, there really is no surprise that Pisces is known to be escapist. Pisces Sun, they're better at channeling their pain into, creative outlets and finding ways to deal with their sorrow, through reality and things that are in this real world, in a more constructive way. Whereas a Pisces moon sometimes escape in more destructive ways because this is emotion, and emotion has no logic. Emotion can be very chaotic and difficult to deal with. And so having a Pisces moon, you can sometimes escape more so through self-destruction and things like drug abuse and things like that. You're more prone to that than a Pisces sun, of being, like over fantasizing, being stuck in your fantasies to a point where the real world kind of, scares you. And I remember Kehlani, the R&B artist who was a Taurus sun with a Pisces moon, she had this lyric in her song where she talked about, how she escapes from her reality. And she said, I haven't done the things that I should have done, and I haven't been the person that I should have been. I remember that being her lyrics. And that's very Taurus Pisces, because Taurus, I'm a Taurus, by the way, so that's what I'm saying. We're very straightforward and just like, I haven't done the right things. We're very straightforward and honest. And at the same time, she was admitting that Pisces escapism of, I'm supposed to be here, but instead I'm all the way over here, Pisces energy is it's very much just fantasy. It's very much like reality. I ain't got no time for that. Like, reality scares you, especially having a Pisces moon. You suffer, because deep empath with the Pisces moon, even more so than a Pisces sun. Because Pisces sun, the sun represents our ego. So with Pisces, you have the ego aspect of Pisces. So you can navigate through. You may be a Pisces sun with, say, a Libra moon or, an air moon. So your emotions are a little bit easier to handle because having an air moon, for example, you have a tendency more to be logical and analytical with your emotions. But if you have a Pisces sun with a Pisces moon, you just all emotion to a point where the logic is not there. Pisces is not known to be logical. They're the opposite sign of Virgo, which is the sign of rationality and reality. Virgos will hit you with the harsh reality of things. Virgos are very realistic. And Pisces is the opposite, where they are delusional. They're prone to getting lost in their delusions, in their fantasies. And I'm making it seem like that it's harder to have a Pisces moon than a Pisces sun, but both of these placements have their challenges simply because Pisces is a challenging sign, unfortunately. Let's talk about Pisces sun and the challenges of that. So the masculine energy of the sun fights with the feminine energy of Pisces. So even as a Pisces sun, you have a tendency to struggle a little bit. At least with the moon is feminine and Pisces is feminine. So you do have that compatibility, which helps you to be a lot more in tune with your emotions, and it helps you to be a lot more emotionally intelligent than a Pisces sun. A Pisces sun has all these emotions and feelings and they don't understand it. They don't really know where it comes from half the time. But a Pisces moon has a deeper understanding of that. But they are more so prone to drowning in their emotion because you got feminine on feminine. And you know how women can be when it comes to our emotions. Sometimes it's just straight up chaos because there's not enough masculine structure. So let's talk about Pisces sun and Pisces moon when it comes to romance and relationships. So romance is very, very, very important to both of these placements. Both of these placements have a tendency to have rose-colored lenses, which is pretty much seeing your partner sometimes as better than he or she really is, and pretty much treating your partner based off of their potential rather than who they really are. You can come across a dude who he's very needy, right? And he seems like he's suffering in life, because a lot of Pisces have a tendency to attract people who are suffering because they like to be the people who save the underdog and save the ones who suffer. And so you attract people into your life who are suffering. And you say, well, he has potential. I can see him doing great things. I can see him, making money. And I can see, and you bring him in and you take care of him based on his potential because he's intelligent, he's this, he's that. But he also is a leech. He also is emotionally draining you. And Pisces have a tendency to allow people to take advantage of them and use them. And a lot of times they don't notice it. And sometimes they do notice it. But because they can be so low on themselves, they don't feel as though they deserve better. So they allow themselves to be in toxic relationships, in relationships that drain the energy out of them. And I'm talking about both Pisces sun and Pisces moon. And I feel as though with the Pisces moon, it's harder to get out of, certain cycles, relationship-wise and emotional-wise. It's harder to get out of, certain cycles having a Pisces moon. But you do have a deeper Piscean power and magic having a Pisces moon. Okay, you have the Piscean magic here. You got that Pisces voodoo with that Pisces moon. Okay, with the Pisces sun, you have more of you express the Piscean creativity through your personality, through your ego, through your outward expression. But Pisces moon, you express your creativity. You're more so like the type that would be in a room by yourself writing poetry, real secluded, and you're just naturally creative and you don't need to express it outwardly. You just feel on the inside. But with this placement, you have to be very careful. Pisces sun, but especially Pisces moon, you have to be very careful when it comes to attracting people who like to suck away at your energy, because you're an empath. So you have a tendency to attract narcissistic people. So you have to be careful that you have to take care of yourself. Like, it's really important. Take care of yourself and get to know your freaking self. Okay, this energy, when it comes to romance, you also are very passionate about the idea of soul bonds, and having a soul connection with somebody and being a part of a spiritual union. That's how you see sex. You don't see sex as just, oh, boom, bang, we done. You see sex as like, no, we are merging souls. Okay, Pisces be deep like that. And sometimes you come across a Pisces that seems gullible. And a lot of Pisces can be very gullible and naive. Like my ex-boyfriend was a Pisces and he was very, very gullible. But there's always a aspect of them having a deeper understanding of spirituality in a way that no other sign does, no matter how gullible and immature they might come off. Which, oddly enough, a lot of Pisces, from my experience, can be very immature, but they do have this supernatural ability to understand spirituality despite how immature they are. That's how magic Pisces is. It defies logic, okay? Piscean energy defies logic. It defies science. It is what it is. Having a moon in Pisces, you perceive the world more so through your emotions and your senses and your moods rather than through your intellect, okay? With Pisces Sun, is more so likely that you can perceive things more intellectually than a moon in Pisces. Moon in Pisces, let's just be honest, you're just straight up emotional. You just, emotion run all up and through you, you know? And when you really hone in on that emotion and that spiritual power, having a Pisces moon, you can do some amazing things. And I'm thinking about Miguel, who's a Scorpio with a Pisces moon. And his music is very spiritual. It has a certain kind of spiritual energy about it. It's otherworldly. Pisces is the sign of the, otherworldly kind of energy, the ethers or whatever. So having a Pisces moon, you really have that power. And so if you're feeling lost with this Pisces moon, it's time for you to recognize that you got a lot of power, a lot of spiritual power. And if you get in tune with yourself, that's the thing about Pisces moon, you need to get in tune with yourself because you can get lost in everybody else's energy because you're an empath and you draw, snap, and you draw from everybody else's energy naturally. Sometimes you do it by mistake. Sometimes you do it on purpose. Once you get in tune with your own power, you can do it on purpose and you can turn it off when you want to turn it off. You're a powerhouse. You're a freaking powerhouse. But be careful not to play the victim. Having a Pisces sun or a Pisces moon. Be careful not to play the victim because sometimes you can do that. It's like, well, I don't have all the things that I need to be successful. I just don't, because sometimes you doubt yourself and you need to stop doubting yourself because you have so much power, So I believe that is all. What I'm going to finish off with is, from my experience, Pisces are very, very giving and very selfless. And this is a beautiful, beautiful trait to have. But you also have to be very careful with this trait because you will attract people who are interested in taking advantage of you and they don't care how kind you are. All they care about is what you can do for them because they know you will do things for them. So Pisces, sometimes it's okay to be selfish. It's okay, So yeah, Pisces, the mystical poet, the artist, the painter. You're all those things and you excel at those things once you really put yourself to it. All right. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And by the way, check out my second channel. It's more of like a beauty, diet, exercise channel that is more directed towards your physical health and feeling beautiful and feeling sexy. So go check that out. The link for that will be in the description box below. I love you all. Bye-bye.